Hello students, good morning and welcome to this class. And we know we are studying about a very important topic, that is about our agriculture. We know more than half of the population in India, they depend on agriculture. In fact, we take our food because of their hard work, because of their labor. So it is nice that we learn about India. What are the types of crops growing in India? Which are the areas producing major crops, or what crops grows in what region, which region, and so on. So today we shall see about the major crops that are grown in India. I hope you remember yesterday we said about we have three cropping seasons: Rabi crops, Kharif crops, and Zaid season. So let us see what are the crops growing in the Rabi season, what are the crops that are growing in Kharif season or in Zaid season, and so on. So today let us see about the major crops in India. You can take your textbook, page number 36. Page number 36. Major crops. So a variety of food and non-food crops are grown in different parts of the country depending upon the variations in soil. So in India, different types of crops are growing, and why they are different? It is because of the difference in the soil, difference in the climate, and difference in the cultivation practices. So these are the factors that are affecting the growth of crop or the difference in crops. One is the quality of the soil, another one is the climate of the place, and also the practices, the cultivation practices of the place. So different people follow different types of practices. So that's why they are different. Then major crops grown in India are rice, wheat, millet, pulses, tea, coffee, sugarcane, oilseeds, cotton, and jute. You can underline what are the major crops grown in India. What are they? Rice. Rice is the most important, because most of the people in India, for them the main food is rice. So rice. The second place is for wheat. Then millets are there. Then pulses, various pulses. Then tea, coffee, sugarcane, oilseeds, cotton, and jute. So all of them are not food crops like cotton and jute, and so we cannot eat. They are used for as a raw material for textile industry. So, but they are also cultivated. They are also crops. They are known as called non-food crop. Now let us see one by one. First, let us see rice. Rice. You like rice, I hope? Is it not? Or you eat at least 2 times, 3 times in a day rice, is it not? That shows rice is a staple food or main food. So it is the staple food crop of a majority of the people in India. You can underline. Wheat is the staple food of the majority people of India. What is the answer? Rice. Rice is a staple food of the majority of the people of India. Our country is the second largest producer of rice in the world after China. So India has got which rank? We have second rank in the world in producing rice. And who gets the first rank? Our neighboring country China is first. India is second. So remember, India has got second rank in the world in producing rice. It is a kharif crop which requires high temperature and high humidity with annual rainfall above 100 centimeters. So yesterday we said about kharif crops and rabi crops. So rice is what crop? It is a kharif crop. It is a kharif crop. That means it is cultivated not in winter, but in summer. And what are the requirements for the growth of rice? First of all, it needs a very high temperature. It needs temperature high temperature, that is about 25 degrees Celsius. The required temperature for rice is 25 degrees Celsius. Then high humidity. It also needs high humidity. Second requirement for the growth of rice is high humidity. Then the third one is it needs rainfall above 100 centimeters. So it needs annual rainfall of high rainfall. That means 100 centimeter rainfall is required. That means sufficient water is required. Rice cannot grow in a dry place. It needs the annual rainfall of at least 100 centimeters in a year. So these are the requirements for the growth of rice. Let's say once again. First of all, it is a kharif crop. Then it needs high temperature for the growth, at least 25 degrees Celsius. Then it needs high humidity, and it needs a very heavy rainfall. That is at least 100 centimeters annual rainfall should be there. Then in the areas of less rainfall, it grows with the help of irrigation. So if you look for the place where there is 100 centimeters of rainfall, then in India we will find very less areas with the 100 centimeters of rainfall. So the cultivation will not be enough. The crop will not be enough to feed the entire population of India. Therefore, what we need, we are forced to cultivate in other places as well. But then how to adjust the lack of water, lack of rain? We give irrigation. So with the help of irrigation, we can cultivate in the areas where there are less rainfall as well. Irrigate either from the dam, bring the water through canals, or there may be bore wells in the field and pump out water from the under the earth. So whatever means we use in order to irrigate the field, if there are sufficient water, then you can cultivate rice in other places as well. But these things, high temperature and humidity, that is a must for the good growth, healthy growth of these rice plants. Then rice is grown in the plains of north and northeastern India. So which are the areas rice is growing? It is mostly growing in North India and in the northeastern part of India, coastal areas and the delta regions. So rice is grown in which are the areas? North, northeast, coastal region, then delta region. So these are the four regions where rice is extensively cultivated. Which are they? North India, Northeast India, coastal regions and delta region. Delta region is at the mouth of the river or the side of the river where a lot of soil is deposited. The soil that is carried from the mountain tops by the rivers, and they deposit it along its bank, and that area becomes very fertile area because of the new soil that is brought down by the rivers, and that is called delta region. So such regions are also very good for cultivation of rice. Then Development of dense network of canal irrigation. So development of very good network of canal irrigation and tube wells have made it possible to grow rice in areas of less rainfall such as Punjab, Haryana and western Uttar Pradesh and parts of Rajasthan. So we said we can cultivate rice even where there are rain, less than 100 centimeters of rain, but we need to provide water through irrigation. So in India there are many places where we cultivate rice with the help of irrigation because there are not enough rain. Rain is not sufficient for the growth of rain, but we provide water, we supply water through irrigation. In that way, such places are made cultivable or made useful for the growth of rice. And which are those areas that are cultivated with the help of irrigation? You will find it is Punjab, Haryana, Western Uttar Pradesh, parts of Rajasthan. That means mostly the North India, the rain is very less, but that area has become a storehouse of rice because most of the states in North India like Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh and Rajasthan, they are cultivating a lot of rice and there the water is not there or the rain is not there, but they get water through irrigation. So because of the facilities of irrigation, they are able to cultivate rice even in these states where there are less rain. So that is the example for cultivation of rice where there are less rainfall, but they manage it with the help of irrigation. Now let's come to the second major crop in India. What is that? After rice? After rice it is wheat. So the second major crop is wheat. Wheat is the second major crop in India. This is the second most important cereal crop and it is the main food crop in north and northwestern part of the country. So people who are living in the North India and the northwestern part of India, they eat wheat, not rice. So the rest of the India, other places, people eat rice. But in North India and northwestern part of India, people in this region, their main food is wheat. And this rabi crop requires a cool growing season and a bright sunshine at the time of ripening. So we said rice is a kharif crop, but wheat is a rabi crop. So kharif crops, they need lot of water, lot of sunshine, but the rabi crops, it is grown in winter and therefore what they need is a very cool season for its growing. Not very hot season but very cool season. And it also needs bright sunshine at the time of ripening. So when it is time to ripen the wheat, then it needs some bright sunshine. So during the day in the winter, we can know the sun is very bright. There is no much rain in the winter season. The days are very bright. So that climate is very much suiting for the growth of wheat. So at night it will be cold season or cool weather, but during the day it will be very bright sunshine. That is very suitable for the growth of this wheat. And it requires 50 to 75 centimeters of annual rainfall. So we said rice needs 100 centimeters of annual rainfall, but wheat can manage with 50 to 75 centimeters of annual rainfall. and it should be evenly distributed over the growing season. So this rainfall, it is not enough to receive once in a while, but it should be throughout the growing season. Then only the wheat will be able to produce a good harvest. There are two important wheat growing zones in the country: the Ganga Satluj plains in the northwest and the black soil region of the Deccan. So we can say in our country there are two regions are there which are very good for the growing of this wheat. One is the Ganga Satluj plains, the plains between the rivers Ganga and Satluj. So that area is very fertile and the good soil is there, so that is very good for growing wheat. And the second region is the Deccan region, the Deccan plateau. That is also very suitable, very good for the growth of wheat. So remember the two regions which are where extensively wheat is cultivated. One is at the delta or at the basin of Ganga and Satluj plains. Between Ganga and Satluj, the plains of these two rivers extensively used for cultivating wheat. Another one is the Deccan Plateau. Then the major wheat producing states are, which are the states producing wheat? They are first of all Punjab. Punjab is the strongest in producing wheat. So Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Rajasthan and parts of Madhya Pradesh. These are the places or these are the states that are producing a bulk of wheat in our country. Which are the states? Let's say again: Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Rajasthan and parts of Madhya Pradesh. These are the states that are producing maximum amount of wheat. So that is all about the cultivation of wheat. Now let us come to millet. Third crop is millet. Millets. So it is millet is a general term, common term, and under that common term there are so many other crops are there. So jowar, bajra and ragi are the important millets grown in India. So millets means not just one crop, several crops are grown together. They are known as under the title millets. So in India we have three major type of millets are there. One is bajra, another one is jowar, another one is ragi. So these are the three types of millets that are found in India or grown in India. We can underline three types of millets that are cultivated in India: jowar, bajra and ragi. Though these are known as coarse grains, so these grains are known as coarse. Coarse means rough or hard. They are not as soft as rice or wheat. These are known as coarse grains, very hard. They have very high nutritional value. So they may not be very comfortable to eat or tasty to eat, but if you eat them, it has got such a high level of nutrition. So this food is used mainly for feeding to baby and so that they will grow very fast, because they get a lot of nutrition from these millets. And they are very rich in iron, calcium and other micronutrients and roughage. So roughage means rough matters. So in this ragi alone, if you take, what are the nutrients we find in ragi? We find iron, calcium, micronutrients and roughage. These are the important nutrients we find in ragi. Then jowar is the third most important food crop with respect to area and production. So the third most important food production in India is jowar. First one is rice, second one is wheat, third one is jowar. It is the rain-fed crop mostly grown in the moist areas which hardly needs irrigation. So this jowar, they are also rain-fed. That means they need a lot of rain. That means what type of crop it will be? Rabi crop or kharif crop? What is grown during the rainy season? That is summer season. It is kharif crops. So they are a kharif crop and they are fed with rain. So they are grown or cultivated mostly places where there are a lot of rainfall is there. Therefore they don't need any irrigation or anything. They will be able to provide or produce harvest with the help of this rainwater. Major jowar producing states are Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh in 2011 and 12. So this census or this data is available some 10 years ago data only, not the present day. So 10 years ago the states that were producing jowar, the maximum jowar or highest quantity of jowar was Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh. These were the states producing high amount of or high quantity of jowar. Then the third one is bajra. Bajra grows well on sandy soils and shallow black soil. So third type of millet is bajra, and we say bajra needs what type of soil? It needs sandy type of soil. That means it does not need much water. It needs dry soil. Then major bajra producing states were Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat and Haryana. So in 2011-12 data, according to that, the states like Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat and Haryana, they were the states producing high amount of this bajra, high amount of bajra. Then ragi crop of dry regions and grows well on red, black, sandy, loamy and shallow black soils. So ragi, we already said in the beginning that it has got a very high nutrient value. And what is the soil suitable for the growth of ragi? It needs dry soil or red or black soil or sandy soil or loamy soil. Loamy soil means the soil that is a mixture of sand and clay. That is called loamy soil. And the shallow black soils. So it does not need much water. It can grow in the black soil, red soil, loamy soil, sandy soil, black soil and so on. Then major ragi producing states are Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, Jharkhand and Arunachal Pradesh. So which are the states, the leading producers of ragi? They are Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, Jharkhand and Arunachal Pradesh. These are the places that are producing ragi in high quantity. So we came to know about three types of millets like jowar, bajra and ragi. And all the three of them, they require different type of soil, different type of climate and so on. So we said the jowar is growing where there is high amount of rainfall, but ragi and bajra, they can grow in a dry soil and so on. So it is growing in different places. So among these three millets, we said which one is the highest? Jowar is the highest produced. Ragi and bajra, they are bit less, but jowar is cultivated extensively extensively, and that takes the third important crop in our country. After rice and wheat, jowar is the most important crop in our country. So we shall see about the rest of the crops in the coming days. So I request you to read your lessons nicely, underline the important words, and learn the states where certain crops are cultivated, the climate that it requires, the amount of rainfall it requires, so that you learn, read several times, and try to make it by heart. It should remain in your mind and should have no doubt at all. Anytime somebody asks you, and you should be able to answer immediately. So there should be no hesitance, there should be no doubt in your mind. So the only way is read several times with a great care, with a great should have full attention. Read it nicely, attentively, and you will get it. So have a nice day. Thank you for listening.